Hi everyone, it's Raven. Today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial for a really easy look. I'm going to be doing kind of like a glamorous nighttime kind of eye with a bold lip. So for the base, I'm going to be using my favorite primer right now, which is by The Ordinary. This one is called the High Spreadability Fluid Primer. It literally comes with like a dropper. It's really nice for people that have dry skin, such as myself, because it goes on super smooth. So just a little baby bit here. Smooth it between my hands. I like to do my whole face, focusing on the middle of the face and right onto my eyelids as well, to keep everything in place. And then we'll do our base. I'm working without a foundation brush right now. I did lose my beauty blender, as I tend to do with things that I love. So I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in Bronze Beige, and I'm working with my hands. Give me some color here. Now for viewers, I definitely recommend using a brush, but when you're in dire times like I am, sometimes it's not an option. Blended to me. And next I'm going to use my concealer, which right now I'm using the Glamouflage by Hard Candy. Hard Candy's really been impressing me lately. I've been using a lot of their products, so this one is definitely a favorite. Like, you only need the tiniest bit and it will last you for months and months and months, so I recommend that. Again, working without a beauty blender, so I'm just going to use my fingers. I like to do underneath the eyes, on top of the lid, right up to the brow bone, and I'm using the shade Light. To do a little bit in the bridge of my nose too. We can do a little bit of nose highlight too. I just want it to be all a blank canvas, so that way my eyeshadow will stay on better. And then next I'm going to do a powder foundation on top to set everything. I'm just using the Milani powder foundation. And I have a giant puff that needs to be washed. And I think this one is Laura Mercier. So just all over. Blend it out really nicely. I do enjoy a full coverage, so I find that the powder foundation with a medium covered liquid foundation is really just what is working for me right now. It's not that I get oily, I just really like the way it looks once it's all done. Really flawless. So just setting everything there. Blend it right into my neck. I like to do my ears as well. Right now I'm a little fair. Usually I have a bit more of a tan than I do right now, but I've kind of been neglecting my routine, I'll be honest. So that's the base. So we're gonna move right on to eyes. So what I would like to do first is I like to pre-glue my eyelashes. So I've been using the Kiss Lashes in Lush from Walmart, as you can see here. I really love them. They're really voluminous, but they're like, in Canada they're $4, almost $5, I think. You really can't beat a value like that for these quality lashes. I do change them up every couple weeks, but I do love these lashes. And right now I'm using the Tarte's Pro lash glue. Generally I reach for the House of Lashes glue, but they didn't have any, so I decided to be adventurous and try something new. And I'm really loving it. So I'm just gonna glue these. I like to start on the ends and just make sure they don't lift, and just quickly. And I have a little box that I set them down on gently, so that way they don't stick to the box while I'm doing the rest of my makeup. Perfect. So those are glued. It goes on, you can't really see it on camera, but it goes on like kind of a blue, and then it'll dry to black. I like the way the black eyeshadow or black eyeliner and the glue mix together. It just makes it, gives it like that fullness, that dark line. I really like that. All right, so for eye look, I'm going to do, I'm gonna start with the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm actually using the brush that comes with it because I really love it. It's been well loved. And I'm going to use the shade Love Letter here as the crease. So I'm gonna start with that. So I'm just gonna take a little bit on my brush and just lightly start blending back and forth from the outer corner inward. Now what this is gonna do is it's gonna kind of create a halo around the eye, and then I'm going to be using another shade from the Anastasia line as the lid color. So just on the outer corners there. Perfect. We'll do the other side here. It's wonderful. And a little baby bit more on this side. I like to do like little circular motions. I find it gives you the nicest result. So there's that. So that's pretty much it for the crease. Now what I'm going to do next is a very interesting technique. I've seen some YouTubers do it. It's it's not professional by any stretch, but it does work. Where I'm using a darker color, I'm actually gonna take some tape. All right, now I have some masking tape. I'm gonna put it right underneath the eye, gently, so as not to rip my skin off. And you can buy eyeshadow pads as well, so definitely you can use those as an alternative to tape, because you're gonna end up looking a little crazy once you have the tape on. I would recommend using Scotch tape. Oh, good Lord. All right, so what I'm gonna use next is this shade here. See if I can pull this out of my Z palette. It's called Truffle Glitter from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a single shadow, love it. It goes on a little light, and then as you build it, it almost turns into like a blackish brown color with a bit of a bronzy shimmer. I absolutely adore this color. So I'm gonna start with the fluffy side first, just to kind of get that color saturated in there. Tap it off because it's quite glittery. Just kind of going back and forth until I get enough color on. That's a good start. You really want to tap off with this color, because if you put too much, you're going to have fallout all over your face. Cool. So you can see there I have a little bit of the color on. I'm going to flip my brush to the flat side. And I'm going to really saturate it on both sides here. And then I'm just going to kind of go in and press shadow in. That'll really amp up the pigment. Like a little goes a long way with this eyeshadow. There we go. All right, so that's most of the eye look there. Very minimal fallout, which is great. Perfect. So I'm gonna take this tape off. It will take a little bit of your foundation off, but I'm going to do a lot of bronzing on the cheeks anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me too much. Kind of go on with the powder and fix it all. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to take a little bit of Love Letter again, and I'm going to go underneath the lash line here. Just to kind of blend everything all together. Cool. And then what I like to do is I like to jump up to brows. So I've been using the NYX eyebrow gel in brunette. I think it's actually being discontinued, which is so heartbreaking for me because I absolutely love the product, but what can you do? So what I did is I actually squirted it into a little container here, and I've just been using a spoolie brush to apply it. I had my eyebrows microbladed last year, so I do have a little bit more shape than I normally do. And you just brush the product into your brows slightly. This is a really great trick if you're not into spending half an hour on your brows every day, like me. Okay, so just kind of fill in the hairs where it's missing some on the inner part of your arch, and then I just use a pointed brush to do the arch part. So again, just kind of following along here. A little bit more on this side here. Not bad. All right, so now that I have eyebrows, we'll go back to the eyes. So I'm going to do a little bit of lining on the bottom lash line with some Wet n Wild eyeliner in black. So what I do is I just kind of line along the bottom eyelash line until the middle of the eye here. Kind of like that. And then I like doing the inner waterline as well. Lovely. And then I will do some mascara using the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. Love this stuff, gives you so much volume. I wear false eyelashes pretty much every day, so my mascara isn't, I don't go out looking for the best mascara I can possibly find. I do love this stuff and I'm pretty happy with it. However, it's not something that I seek out to have the most expensive, fancy, wonderful mascara, because nobody sees my real eyelashes anyway, what little eyelashes I actually have. So I do have a fair bit of bottom eyelashes though, so I like to give them a fairly nice coat. Cool. And then I always love to do a winged eyeliner. It's just kind of my signature at this point. I've been doing it for years and years and years, so people know me by the girl with the crazy winged eyeliner, and I'm totally okay with that label. So I'm using, again, Hard Candy Walk the Line in black. They also have glitter versions of this liner, which I think would have looked really great for this look, but I've been having a tough time trying to find it. And as you may know, hard candy can be found at Walmart. So I'm going to do a fairly thick line where it's a little bit more of a dramatic look. Some people like doing the wing part first. I prefer to do the line on the lid first. And then I like to start from the outer corner here. We're just gonna do kind of a mid-wing. I don't want it to be the focal point of this look. I'd rather the eyeshadow kind of take the lead in this one, so I just kind of do. Oh, okay. A little thicker on this side. It's a pretty good wing. I'm gonna let that dry. And while that's drying, I'm gonna move on to the rest of my complexion. So I always like wearing bronzer where I'm usually pretty tan, so I've been using the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster Bronzer. I was also using the butter bronzer for a long time, which I really love the texture of it. I just wish it came in like a slightly darker shade. And then I'm just gonna bronze my cheeks here. I like to kind of just do little circles, and you want to do your ear as well, otherwise you'll end up having a white gap in between your ear and your bronzer. It's a little more on this side. And then I like to go right along the chin, blend everything down. And then just along the hairline as well. That, and then I will do some blush. I've been using the NARS blush in Gulu. I think it's called Gulu. I absolutely love it. It's an angled brush. I like a pretty strong blush. So I just go right over top of where I did my contour. Here. So a little bit of statement blush for you. And then what I prefer to do is I actually enjoy doing my highlight while it's wet. So I've been using the Aroma Water from Lush, which is actually a toner spray with lavender and rose. I spray it all over my entire face, and then I do my highlight. So just like this. I do prefer using a toner over a traditional setting spray where I do have a drier skin type. Definitely you can use regular setting sprays, it won't harm your skin. I just prefer to use the toner. Also the Anastasia Beverly Hills Aurora palette, I have loved it to crumbles, but I absolutely love the colors in this palette, and I'm actually going to use what's left of the color Lyra or Lyra. So I'm just going to comb my brush here. I'm using an angled brush, so right on top there. I just find your highlight goes a lot further if you use it wet. And honestly, with what little I have left of my highlight, I think it's probably for the best. And then I like to do right on the tip of the nose there, the bridge, and right onto the forehead. I'm actually going to pop a little bit into the inner corners of my eyes too. And just underneath my eyebrow. Okay, so that's the highlight. And then last but certainly not least, those lashes that we glued earlier, we're going to apply that. So you want them to be slightly tacky, but not so tacky that they're still wet. And then I just pop them right along my lash line like so. The easiest way to get your lashes on straight is to kind of plunk them from the top of your lash line. Just how I do it. You can also use tweezers if you find that it's still difficult. Lashes make all the difference. If I was on a desert island and I can only have one item of makeup, it would be false lashes. Alright, and then So that's it for the eye look. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair it with a Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick. This one is one of my favorites. As you can see, there's not a lot left. I'm ready for a rebuy. It's called Catnip. It's very similar to Love Letter, which you use on the eyes, so I thought it would be a nice complementary shade. So apply that. So I do a very slight overline of my lips, where my lips are fairly large, so I don't really need to overline, but it's just something I've always done. And once you get it off your teeth, that's it. So then you would style your hair, which I've already done. So there's my hair. And now you're ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know how you feel about the video. Let me know what type of looks you're interested in learning how to do. Any questions about me personally as well, I can answer to the best of my abilities. So again, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.